think the map of Iran looks the same after this is all done?
That I can't tell you. Probably not.
I went back and I just listened to some of the interviews from like the Secretary of Defense back in the during the Iraq War. But yeah, 20 years ago or 23 years ago, they were like, it's probably gonna be 6 days, maybe 6 weeks. I doubt 6 months.
Oh, you mean the Iraq? That's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
yeah. We are hearing the exact same shit today.
Oh, they've got a manual. They've actually got a manual. State Department. The manual is like, tell them it's gonna be 3 to 5 weeks. Tell them you gotta do it, otherwise they will have attacked you first. Tell them that they're terrorists.
They cut babies' heads off. They chop women in half.
And say that, we've got completely negate everything you said pre-election about specifically not going to war with Iran. Because
I am the peace president. I will bring peace through war.
I have to tell you, George, I have to tell you, people are being really unfair to me. They haven't even given me my itty-bitty Nobel Prize for peace. What's up with that? Nobody's more peaceful than I am.
I've thought about it so long. If you throw enough bombs and everybody just dies, they die. There's gonna be peace then, because there's nobody left. So smart. That's why the Chinese call me a genius.
All right, let's jump right into it. Fucking dark times, war with Iran. It's been going on for 6 days now.
I mean, we called it, didn't we?
We called it, unfortunately.
What did we say was gonna be?
Like the chances of something silly happening are uncomfortably
When
high,
we
I
say
would say.
silly, we mean really fucking catastrophic. Catastrophic.
Shit
right?
show, yeah. Catastrophic.
Catastrophic
Shit show.
Shit show of immense proportions. And it seems that, unfortunately, we were right. He's basically burning down the Middle East. Yes, please.
A very quick recap of what happened.
Yes.
Let's jump into the analysis. So they started bombing Iran on last Friday. They killed their leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, almost immediately.
Master Chief, yeah. The Master Chief.
highest of Master Chiefs, religiously speaking. So since then, they've killed all of the military leadership, let's say, of Iran, as far as I know. The country right now is being bombed by Israel and the US. And there's no end in sight that I can see because nobody has articulated.
Luigi, in response, Iran has retaliated by bombing as much as they can of everybody in the Middle East.
Yeah.
We can discuss why.
They've been lashing out at every neighboring country. My guess about that is just to kind of wreak havoc, and those are the targets they can hit, right?
Yes,
because
it's possibility, yeah.
Everything.
And I mean, I wouldn't make that much of a point if they were just lobbing missiles and drones and firing off kamikaze drones into American bases. But they're not just doing that.
Yeah,
they're actually attacking
civilian infrastructure, hotels,
airports, oil refinery facilities.
Speaking of oil refineries, the price of oil skyrocketed. Not immediately.
Nobody, Luigi, could have
saw it coming. No. It was totally unforeseen.
Unforeseeable, people. I mean, you attacked the world. You set the world's petrol station on fire, and suddenly fire, and so, because you're a credit, and suddenly the price of oil, as our honorable colleague Luigi just elucidated as unforeseeable.
Don't worry, George. We're gonna pump the most oil.
Okay, I don't like to rely on the price of oil because markets work in funny ways, right? If the market sees like a way where Iran stabilizes and the US takes over its airfields and so its oil fields, like the price of oil can fall. But for now, what
It's
has
a
happened
staggered
is
effect, obviously, because this is it's a process, refining it, putting it in tankers, shipping it across the world, putting it in the fucking stations. Then people have to take it and put it in their cars. So you mean it's a delayed effect. Yeah, there's capacity now, but then it depends on what happens in the long run, right?
exactly the price of oil jumped 35% during the week, the first week of the war, and 12% on Friday alone.
And I mean, I don't want
So
to go
people,
extremely on this tangent, but I mean, it goes to tell you, Luigi, that even though he obsesses over this shit, no regards about just, you know,
no.
inflating the price of oil by
Well,
doing
look,
this.
it's not no regard. So one of the first things the U.S. military did was sink every Iranian warship in the region, and the reason was so that the Iranians cannot block the Strait of Hormuz so easily, a choke point where about 20% of the
Yeah,
world's
very intense.
oil
So
flows
that's
through.
why they're so one of the main. Well, we'll talk about it, but one of the main things they always hammer on about is the Navy.
Yeah, and still the Iranians
And I was
managed to
always like,
block.
does Iran have that much of a navy that they always mention? But
Not
yeah,
really, but that's how you
makes
control
sense
that
when
choke point.
it's the thing that's gonna be used. They're gonna
Here's
use to choke. Yeah.
Here's the funny part. Even though they've sunk all of the ships are not flowing, are not passing through the Strait of Hormuz because insurers will not insure commercial ships to pass from there because the risk is too high. So the American Navy, I guess,
Wants to get
at, at,
involved
at, at
directly.
Trump's
Yeah.
command, they want to escort
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ships.
Full.
Even
Yeah.
so, yeah, but even so, if you're a commercial ship, you can't do that because you need insurance. So the American government is trying to come up with an insurance scheme to insure those ships.
What about the Strait of Hormuz? There's no traffic really going through it
Well,
right now.
that's, the ship's choices, but we have it cleaned out. We've wiped out their Navy. The Navy is now at the bottom of the sea. So that's the choice. This is an excursion. We figured oil prices would go up, which they will. They'll also come down. They'll come down very fast, and we will have gotten rid of a major cancer.
Yeah, so that
And all
oil
this, by
can
the
flow.
way, I mean, initially to kill an 86-year-old guy.
Yeah,
You couldn't just let Mother Nature take its course.
who allegedly had prostate cancer and was going to die anyway.
He was 86 years old. I mean, for fuck's sake, how long was he gonna go?
Yeah, so some more facts. I'm seeing beyond military targets being hit in Iran, there were widespread reports of hospitals being hit. I believe the count is that 5,000 people have officially died. 6 US soldiers, last I saw.
Sorry, yeah. Sorry, yeah, 6 US soldiers, absolutely. There was an apparent strike on on an Iranian girls' school that killed scores of children on Saturday. And
Which is
it's very likely that the Americans were responsible for this one.
Did the United States bomb a girls' elementary school in southern Iran on the first day of the war and kill 175
In my
people?
opinion, based on what I've seen, that was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Higson? It was Iran who did that?
We're certainly investigating.
Still
But
investigating.
the only side that targets civilians is Iran.
We think it was done by Iran.
But look, here's my takeaway, my high level takeaway from all of this. First of all, I don't think there's a real plan. Like the
There is
Trump
no plan.
administration does not operate with a real plan. The US military professionals that they are, and I mean that, not being sarcastic here, they probably have a military plan, as in how to decapitate Iran's military
Yeah,
infrastructure.
the thing is though, Luigi, the military doesn't have a political plan. So, I
Exactly.
mean, it's just gonna be, we can keep doing this for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. That's what's gonna happen.
You kill the entire leadership of a country, and then when you stop bombing them, what happens? Most likely, and my best read on the situation is they want a civil war. Syria, Libya, it's
Gonna
happened.
be a fucking shit show of unimaginable proportions, to
Exactly.
summarize it plainly.
And my best read on the situation is that's what the plan is. The plan is bomb the fuck out of that country until you feel comfortable that you've destroyed the entire military, and afterwards just let them kill
Just
themselves.
fight in the rubble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
possible.
usually what happens with that is the faction that has the most guns or that is willing to be the most brutal, usually both, wins. And
Let's go
so,
through Luigi. Let's go
yeah,
through just to see how insane this whole thing is. And I don't know if that's the plan, but even if that's the plan, that's still insane. That's an insane way to go about this. Let's go through the justifications he's given, the Trump administration as a whole has given for the war. First, we had Trump on a video when immediately the war was launched, calling it a defensive response to decades of Iranian aggression, but then also bringing up Iranian liberation. And then he also wants to eliminate Iran's imminent nuclear threat, a threat that he allegedly eliminated last year.
We destroyed everything, but a little bit was left over. We had to go
Like,
again.
like,
Go
what the
harder
fuck,
this
dude?
time.
But and then they also want to destroy everything associated with the ballistic missile program and the Navy, as you said. And they've killed the Ayatollah, which tells us that the regime change is evidently another
yeah.
maybe objective.
Dude, I mean, I think they were trying to do the Venezuela model, as in kill the leader and then blackmail the next guy that you're gonna drone him if he
I
doesn't
think
play
that's the
ball.
best case scenario that they're going for.
That
It's not gonna happen.
could never work in Iran. Like thinking that is so childish that
I
I
was
cannot even.
adamant about it last video, but the fanatic Ayatollahs are not gonna be like the Venezuelans. It's not gonna,
You
these
think?
people, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard are not gonna be that easy to fucking outmuscle. They're gonna
Speaking of the
die
Iran-
fighting.
speaking of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, and I think one of the main reasons they've hit all of these neighboring countries, I was reading a nice article from Reuters, which basically described the following: the Iranians knew that in case of war with the US, the first thing that would go was the military leadership. So what they did was delegate
Yeah,
down, assign their
yeah.
successors. So if Luigi dies, then George takes over. Then after George is the
Waluigi,
next guy.
Waluigi. We've got
So
Waluigi in the freezer.
yeah, so like they assigned successors three, let's say,
Yeah.
levels down. So what's happening right now with the leadership decapitated is that a bunch of mid-level officers are trying in
Taking
an
more executive decisions.
bravo,
It's
in
so
an
it's like diffusing
uncoordinated,
it.
not diffusing it, separating it, sort of making it decentralized in
Yeah,
a way that it cannot be,
decentralizing it exactly.
yeah, in a way that it cannot be destroyed
Easily
easily.
decapitated. Yeah.
Yeah, and in a way that you can fight a guerrilla war
Yeah,
potentially
sort of. Yeah,
for
yeah.
for a prolonged period of time. So that's why you are seeing things that don't make sense on the surface, like hitting Dubai or you know,
Hitting a
um,
hotel in Dubai or whatever.
yeah.
It's like that
So
was an executive decision by one mid-level general somewhere.
not general, like a
Yeah, sorry.
mid-level,
Yeah.
a low-level officer probably in a very decentralized army, I
System, which
guess we could
had
put.
to be
Yeah,
like that because they knew that if there would be decapitation strikes, which there were immediately by Israel. But
bingo.
let me go through Luigi because I haven't got to the good justifications yet, the juicier ones. After Trump said all this shit, basically everything was used as a justification and an objective, up to and including eliminating a nuclear threat he had already claimed to have eliminated. Then we had Pete Hegseth. He had a press conference
Dun dun dun
in
dun.
his signature douchebag style. And he said that the
How
objective,
dare you?
he said that the objective was to destroy the Iranian offensive missiles, their missile production, their navy and other security infrastructure. And he pinky promised that this wouldn't be like Iraq and that the regime change wasn't the objective. That's Pete Hegseth. Then Marco Rubio, little Rubio, what a great fucking Secretary of State he's turned out to be. He told reporters that in effect the US went to war because Israel had decided to go to war. And if they hadn't joined in, they would nevertheless have been hit in retaliation. So effectively they went to war because Israel was about to go to war.
Basically. And they admitted that, like,
He
the
said that,
Secretary
Marco
of
said that.
State
The
admitted
Secretary of
that
State, yeah. The
plainly.
foreign minister. The minister responsible for foreign affairs
Yeah.
was like, Israel was going to go to war. If we hadn't joined in, we would have been hit by Iran in retaliation,
Yeah.
so we had to go in.
And the best analysis I've heard around this point is who's the superpower around here? Like, how does this power dynamic work?
Of
because
course,
when
just to know, Luigi, absolutely. Obviously, this question is being asked everywhere. But I mean, Trump then the next day completely contradicted Rubio and was like, if anything, I forced Israel's hands. I forced Israel's hand, whatever that means.
yeah,
And
as we all
now,
know,
yeah.
you never listen to what Trump says. You listen to the periphery, kind of.
You
And
feel
now,
the vibe. Is he grouchy? He's gonna do something really stupid. And now he's posting all caps about unconditional surrender. But I love it because Caroline, his press secretary, was like, when he says that, he means that he decides when the Iranians unconditionally surrender. He doesn't mean when the Iranians actually say that they've unconditionally surrendered.
wow,
Can you give us an idea of what unconditional surrender looks like to you? I mean, what do you want from Iran?
I said unconditional, not conditional. I said unconditional. It's where they cry uncle, or when they can't fight any longer and there's nobody around to cry uncle. That could happen too, because we've wiped out their leadership numerous times already. So it's if they surrender, or if there is nobody around to surrender, but they're rendered useless in terms of military.
I'm gonna keep fucking you until I decide I'm done.
Until I decide you unconditionally surrender.
That's so insane, man.
I mean,
What is
we're
happening?
laughing, but what
Sorry,
else can
yeah,
we do? This is
we are laughing.
insanity, people. We are in the whims of a madman. He's a madman. And this isn't a justification for the Iranian regime. The only question now is he gonna plunge the fucking country into civil war? And is he gonna end up killing more than the Ayatollah killed a few months ago?
There is such a power vacuum right now in Iran that I struggle to see how this doesn't end in civil war. Like, who takes over? There's not gonna
Well,
be
what was it? They've got there's rumors about the
the
Ayatollah's son, who
yeah, the
is
Ayatollah's son, the Shah's son.
the
That
Shah's
might
son.
actually,
That's the American. So that would be
yeah, that's American. Uh, I mean, there's no public opinion polls to go to about that, but
the Iranian people
hearsay.
are forced into a nightmare situation. It's presumable to assume that the majority of them did not like the Ayatollah, but now they're being bombarded by hostile foreign nations.
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah.
think there exists a single Iranian who can in any way consider Israel his liberator.
We should also mention that Israel has invaded Lebanon with
Lebanon. Oh, yeah.
ground troops.
Full-on invasion. 500,000 people have been evacuated. The refugee waves, if this goes on, is going to be the second major calamity.
Yeah. I man, I struggle to see how this ends anytime soon. And it's just such a hot mess. And by the way, let's tie everything together from a global perspective as well. The US on Friday had a big jobs report, and the US economy lost jobs last month. Now, you can say that's because of
I
AI and
saw
so
that,
on.
yeah.
It can be because of a lot of reasons, but here's the point. Usually, when the economy loses jobs, investors don't panic because, oh, the central bank is going to bail us out. The central bank is going to cut interest rates. But oil prices are going up, which means inflation, which means the central bank cannot cut interest rates.
Yes.
So all of this has the potential to end in a very hot mess for the American economy. If you're about to go into
And
a
they call it
recession,
stagflation, right?
exactly.
When
If you're about to
inflation
go,
and unemployment goes up, yeah, it's the
if you're
double whammy.
I mean, it's still early to tell, but if we have another month of negative, of contradicting of the jobs market, losing jobs, that's usually recession. And if the central bank cannot bail you out because you started an inflationary war, ooh, in a
Yeah,
year where
yeah.
Americans are going to go out and vote in
It's
October.
going to be the biggest mistake of his life, dude. I said this in the previous episode. This is not going to play out well in the American electorate. Whatever the fuck he's doing, whatever the fuck he started since last week, it's an unbelievable calamity. It's a disastrous mistake. And I mean, the way this is going, I don't think he can endure. I mean, at one
Yeah.
point, I think he's just gonna pull out because and just stop bombing. I
Well,
don't know
he
where
never
this
went in.
leaves us after setting the Middle East on fire. But at one point, it's gonna be like the economic hit is too great, inflation is too high. Maybe in a month
And
or so.
I think they're stupid enough to do boots on the ground. I'm not even joking.
No, it's a
I
possibility.
These are circumstances where you'd send in ground troops. How are you thinking about that?
I don't even want to talk about it now. I mean, that's. I don't think it's an appropriate question. You know, I'm not going to answer it. Could there be? Possibly, for very good reason. Have to be very good reason.
If he
I
does
think
that, he's done for.
I think the reason he's gonna do that is because he really wants that fucking oil. Like he wants to actually take over the oil. He doesn't like regime change is nice,
What
but
a douchebag. I mean,
actually taking over the oil
what
fields
a
is like the
greedy
bonus.
cretin, Luigi. I mean, you could have had Venezuela's. You could have sold it to
Yeah.
your right-wing base, but you wanted too much. You
Dude, you
wanted too
wanted everything.
much.
You like an old school imperialist, you wanted it all.
And now you're
Uh,
gonna watch it burn, dude.
the Secretary of War and his press secretary explicitly refused to rule out boots on the
Anything.
ground.
They've ruled
And
nothing out.
there were reports recently that Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, was arguing for that, and that Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, was trying to argue against it. So,
Can you imagine
given
if our lives are hanging on fucking
on
Marco
Marco Rubio,
Rubio?
that honestly, I really think there's a strong possibility they do boots on the ground, and that both electorally, economically, like from every
And the
perspective, that
amount
would
of
be.
money people he's been wasting, this cretin is blowing away, just bombing shit without reason. So
I
what? You killed an 86-year-old guy? Well, fucking done, Tony.
Yeah, but more, let's say, an honest truth is if you're trying to replace a brutal theocratic regime, you don't do it by bombing them and then starting a civil war, because what comes next
It's
is
worse.
gonna be even worse, because
Probably.
that's
Most
that's
likely.
how it is.
They
That's how it
bombed
always
Iraq
is.
and they even managed to set up some form of government, and it still ended up with ISIS. This is gonna
Yeah,
be.
imagine.
And they
Uh,
set up a form of government. It wasn't like this. It wasn't just let's blow the fuck out of them. Whatever happens,
yeah.
happens.
And man,
He got
whenever they
cocky,
pull out,
dude. He got cocky because the
yeah,
operation capturing Maduro
Venezuela,
worked out as
yeah,
well as it could have possibly worked out.
yeah. Man, I get goosebumps. I'm pretty sure, like in a month from now, they're gonna stop the bombing, like the hardcore
Yeah,
bombing
he's
at least.
threatening Cuba,
And
by the way.
you remember back during the Iraq war days when George Bush went on an aircraft carrier and there was a huge sign of mission accomplished
Yes, a
in the
legendary
background.
picture.
That we're gonna get something very similar. I'm very confident about that.
He decides. He decides everything. He's the God decider. He decides when the mission is. He won't
Mission
even tell us
accomplished.
what the mission
The
is.
mission was accomplished before we even went in.
He just told us that he's doing 15 out of 10. The operation is doing 15 out of 10 people. He's acing it. The Middle East is on fire.
Let's end on a joke.
I don't want to joke. Let's
President
end on a joke.
Iran's president apologized to
Yeah.
neighboring Gulf countries today for the indiscriminate missile attacks. And you're like,
I don't know how to take this,
thanks.
Luigi. Does he actually have full control of the military?
I don't think so.
I'm not
Not full
100% on
control.
it.
I doubt it. I don't think anyone has full control. I think their military was designed to be decentralized on purpose because they knew that they cannot rely on any leadership. And
Israel
to
has
me,
bombed the whole headquarters on the first day.
yeah. I mean, and they knew that was coming, and they've been preparing for this for decades now, like 3, 4 decades. Uh, man, if this goes to boots on the ground, the guerrilla war that's gonna ensue is going to make Vietnam look
Look
like a
like
fucking
yeah.
picnic.
Yeah, I've read about this that the terrain is extremely inhospitable in Iran. I had
Exactly.
no idea about Iran's
And
terrain.
I mean, okay, you could argue that technology has progressed, like air
And you still
power
gotta
has
have the boots
progressed,
walk around.
right? So
If he does that, it's gonna be I mean,
Trump,
Jesus
Trump
Christ,
has a
Luigi.
sense like he knows how unpopular that would be. He won
I
on
mean, what
saying,
kind of credit?
dude,
Who literally understood
he won on what a disaster the Iraq war was. Like he literally ran and won on that,
on the
ending forever
Republican
wars
side,
on the Republican
dissing
side.
on fucking Bush's brother? And it was like, your
Dude,
brother was a fuck up. He fucked up. And now it's like, but I'm
and
gonna do regime change better.
and another statement from Trump that has lingered with me through the years is the biggest
Yes,
mistake we made in
yes,
in Iraq was giving back the oil.
yes.
So
He wants the
he
resources.
wants the
If
oil.
you're
He
gonna
wants,
do it, you're
if
gonna
you're gonna
take the
do it, you better
resources.
keep the oil forever because you gotta get some return on investment on those
You're
bombs.
gonna be like Emperor Leopold. If you're gonna go there, you're gonna go there.
All right, let's end with that.
Terrible times, people. We hope that this ends soon because it's really an open-ended war. I mean, once you're like, we're gonna destroy, I don't know, all the missile production facilities, we're gonna destroy all the land. This is endless stuff. It's never gonna end.
Let's hope it ends soon, and let's hope that they really don't do boots on the ground.
For 3,000 years, they've been fighting. And now I'm gonna solve it by burning it all down, Luigi. We're burning it down, burn it down.
I told Jared, great Jared Kushner, Jared, bring peace to the Middle East. And then Jared
The
needed my
Kush.
help, and I went in, guns blazing.
And I want everyone to say, thank you, Kush. Thank you, Kush. Thank you, Jared, for the peace you have brought to the Middle
Um,
East.
yeah,
Obrigado.
this is so sick, man. So sick. We're gonna keep bringing updates as frequently as we can, and let's hope all of this ends soon. George, a pleasure. Stay safe.
Nobel Peace Prize, here we come, baby.